Ira Epstein, and here we are with your financial market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for the evening, as we're here now on Monday, the 27th of January, 2025, about 6:45 p.m. Central Time. You know, last night, I know when I went to bed, I'm thinking, all right, what's going to happen? The U.S. is fighting with Peru, and then we saw that at the very end, the Peruvian president said, no, everything's fine, you can bring in the planes and so on. Later at night, he changed all that. Once he saw these deportees leaving in Brazil and other areas in shackles and handcuffs, he said he can't have that happen in his country, and he's right. All right, you can't. These are not necessarily people that are under arrest in Peru, and they look like we're delivering just raw criminals. Maybe in the eyes of us in America, they are illegal immigrants or whatever, but we're not putting them in our prisons. So when they get on that plane and they get off, I don't know. I actually agree with the president of Brazil and Colombia. Let them come off dignified and get back into their country. We don't need to show them in handcuffs, shackles, and all that. I doubt very seriously that in that plane there's anywhere to go with the armed soldiers and all that are around them. All right, it could happen. I have my doubt. I'm not saying if you want to keep them shackled in the plane until you land, fine. But before the doors open, let everybody come out dignified. What is so wrong with that? The real issue that happened is we woke up, and I never heard of this company, DeepSeek. And all of a sudden, I'm looking, and the markets come unglued. And why are they coming unglued? And I mean, it just started rolling. It wasn't there at 6 in the morning, folks, because I was putting out my update. Gold was around $2,800, not the 2760s that it finally fell to. And that didn't occur. The stock market was certainly not down anywhere near 1,000 points in the NASDAQ. That wasn't taking place. So as this developed, DeepSeek grabbed momentum. And what it is, apparently, is an application that can use older chips. Now, keep in the back of the mind, older chips, clusters of them. And it has a better way than what we in America have developed to use those chips to get answers in a less expensive and faster way than ChatGPT and the other things, OpenAI and other things that apparently we have developed. That is my take on it. Could I be wrong? Of course. I don't even know about the product. I'm telling you what I read, and if I'm wrong, doesn't matter. I'm on the right track. That people get worried or got worried that why are companies spending all these billions on the best of the best from NVIDIA, talking about building all these data centers, and I'm talking massive amounts, possibly nuclear energy and so on, and seeing utility companies jump into this when you don't need it. Well, number one, I didn't say that. You know, think about telephones, mobile phones. There's cheap ones, there's expensive ones. They do very different things. Even Apple has different products that do different things. They all do. Well, this looks to me like one of those things. There's a better way to do it with the less expensive chips, but what would the more expensive chips do with it? That's really the question. You can't tell me you know, because Blackwell's just shipping out the door. Do I not think that we in America, Europe, other parts of the world aren't going to write applications to better take advantage of this? I do. But I think the shot of it was planned. Why? President Trump is getting ready. He said February 1st to put out tariffs. I don't know if he'll do it or not. But this was the Chinese way of maybe shooting something across his bow. Slow down here, slow down. Look what we were able to do. And we'll work with you. We'll buy products from you, so on and so forth. I don't know. I'm guessing that was it. The timing of this seems so strange. Did it catch the market flat-footed? 100%. And the markets came unglued, as you'll see. So I've given you my understanding of what took place. It impacted the stock market. It took the bonds and the note markets higher. I don't know why it pulled the plug on the gold market, but it did. The dollar didn't fall much. It was down 8 ticks. It didn't rally. And foreign currencies did rally against the dollar, But an early evening trade right across the board, they're all giving up something there. Keep in the back of your mind that you have on Wednesday the Federal Reserve monetary policy meeting, Bank of England, Wednesday, monetary policy meeting, Thursday, European Central Bank monetary policy meeting. And in between now and then, you have tomorrow, the advanced durable goods orders at 7:30. You're going to get Redbook weekly retail sales at 7:55. The Case-Shiller November home sales prices, and that's at 8 o'clock. The Richmond Fed will come out with their manufacturing sector outlook, and that will be at 9 o'clock. That's their monthly number. And the Conference Board will release their numbers at 9 o'clock as well. So that's where you're at. So what do the charts do? Maybe we go there and get an idea of things. On the pullback, you're still not back to the 18-day average of closes. So the bias is up. You started the week and you're down 1.5% for the week. So you've gotten a pullback from a double top area. That you can't deny it occurred. You and I talked about this last week. And I said, you're back into the resistance here. And no, I didn't expect today's action. So if you think, oh, he was telling me, what I did say is it's very difficult to be long up at that number. Now you're getting the pullback. Have we done any damage on the chart? Not yet, because you haven't had anything other than what? You've had a vertical price rise, and I told you, go on YouTube and go back about 2-3 days. You will see what I said. I said vertical price rises often get a vertical price break of some amount in them. I think that qualifies as a vertical price break today. Where'd the market stop? You tell me. The 18-day average, the line in the sand, as I call it. If it breaks down further, maybe it gets to the 100-day in the green. The resistance, where did it go up to? Right up to those levels and stopped. And so here's your pullback number. And you were overbought, so you're in corrective territory. I'd love to see the market spend a bit of time now spinning around and, if you will, reconstituting itself. I think it's going to get from the Fed a dovish piece of news that they're not cutting rates, but they're open to it. When we come to the NASDAQ, different ball game here. This market didn't act like the S&P. Number one, it made a run for the upper band. It didn't hit it. Number two, it fell apart, obviously, today down. Didn't even stop at the 100-day average, which often is where markets stop. It went instead to the 100 and the lower Bollinger Band, and now you're pulling all the way up. Why? Because this is the tech sector. The weighting on it are these stocks that are heavily involved, and what DeepSeek can do is pull the plug on those type. If I'm in it, you're asking, do I really need the Nvidia chips at X price for the Blackwell? Can I do better with the lower price? Look at how this DeepSeek is working. Why are we doing this? You understand what I'm saying. Soon, and not now, you'll get reasons from Nvidia. Why can't they answer now? They're in their earnings period. Therefore, they're barred from coming out and giving full explanations. They can gloss over like they did through a company spokesman that we blah, blah, blah. That's all they can do. You're not going to get Jensen Huang coming out and giving you the whole thing as to his explanation of it. That can't take place as I see it right now. So they're in their quiet period. When you look at the micro mini Dow, it didn't even break down to these numbers. And actually, this market's getting more bullish. You just saw a crossover where the 18-day average got over the 100. The 100's over the 200. This is not acting bearish right now. And if I'm right, and you can hold on, you should at least challenge the highs. And notice this morning, that was the high for the whole rally, not back here. This is still the resistance zone, but the high on the current rally, and it happened, the big break happened afterwards, obviously. Then we get to the Russell, and the Russell is still fighting at the 100-day average. It's well off the highs that the market had back here, but it's not acting in a bearish pattern. Yes, the swing line is down, but the bias is up as long as you stay over the 18-day average of closes. The 10-year notes rallied up to the upper Bollinger Band, and boing, that's where, if you're long, you're coming out of the market. Same thing in the 2-year notes. Look, you rallied up to it, and that's all. You're in sideways action here, waiting for the Fed to give you the idea what's going to happen. In the dollar index, if you'll remember my dollar report, I said expect a pullback in the market, and then we'll see if this market can get through. What was the objective of the market originally? The 109.83 level. You got there on that count. Now you have to sit here and the market has to make a decision. Did it peak out? Or do we make a run at the potential next price count, which, folks, you're not going to believe this. It's near the 115, 114 and a half area, way up off this chart, if it's going to make that run. In the euro currency, you've come back up to the upper Bollinger Band over the past 2 days, and now you're really pulling back. Again, I can't imagine that the European Central Bank isn't going to cut interest rates. I don't know, but I would imagine they're going to. Normally, when the dollar's not going to cut rates and the euro is, you get the difference where the dollar picks up momentum against it. Doesn't happen today. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen on Wednesday, but it didn't happen today. Today was more about, I think, the stock market's falling. Traders didn't run for the dollar. That surprised me. They didn't run for the gold market. That surprised me. The NASDAQ and the Bitcoin have a high correlation. Lay one chart on the other and you will see what's going on there. So that didn't surprise me that fell with it. In the British pound, you've come all the way back up, and now the market is what? The market's, I think, at the vulnerable point to start pulling back. I do expect that we're going to get a rate cut, but we'll see if I'm right or wrong there. In Bitcoin, you fell all the way back to the neutral territory. So prior to this, let me just show you what you looked like. You had a pretty ugly looking chart in its own way. You were knocking on the door, kept hitting here against the upper band, against the all-time high. You were overbought. That's all that I know. Where would you come in and put a stop becomes the bigger question for the traders. Today, the market falls, and it immediately finds its support against the 18-day average, and that's what you've got at this point in time. Then we come to the energies, which I guess are listening to President Trump, and they're breaking because he said he wants them to break. I'm being facetious, but I think you understand. Drill, baby, drill. I don't believe anybody's drilling. I think what they're using is their technology to take existing wells and get more out of them. I remember when we would hear, oh, these wells are going to run out of oil and everything was going to happen with that. And it's just not what it is. Technology surpassed that. That doesn't mean these fracking wells don't have a shorter life than a natural life well that you're running. But with today's technology, you can really get a lot out of them. And all you're seeing is each week, the amount of active wells, rigs, coming down. And yet we're at record production. You can argue with that all you want. There's only one answer: better technology coming about. As the market's pulling down here in the WTI, I think you'll find a bottom in the 72 to the lower band of 71. That's what I'm looking for the support area. I don't know if it'll end up being the bottom, but for support, you're at support in the heating oil. And I warned you, I said that cold weather we had, don't play that. That was then. You got to look forward and say, what's coming? We're going to be 50 degrees this week in Chicago. We're going to have rain on Wednesday. The super cold is gone already. And now we get into the more mild temperatures. I went out today and looked at the 30-day forecast, and it is most certainly average. In other words, 40s, 30s, occasionally high 40s, right through that. So other than little periods of time, more daylight every day, more warmth every day. We're getting ready for spring. I know that's going to sound hard for people to understand, but it's reality. Natural gas usage, and my bill's very high, and I want to see that come down. So that's where you're at on all these markets. And today was a setback, and it's going to offer opportunity if you haven't gotten involved, or if you got stopped out of like metals today. to reestablish. Now we wait. The time to pull the trigger is right around the corner. And I mean, I think it's right around the corner. So we'll be talking about that and the free offers from Linn. If you go there, you can also get access to my newsletter if you haven't been a subscriber to it yet or you haven't had a free trial to it. Do that. Take advantage of everything there and learn. IraEpstein.com. Free offers. There's also an icon if you're on a PC up there. You can give that a click. And I'll catch up with one and all in the morning. Take care now.